everyone. I hope that you're doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Shikha, and I welcome you to my channel. As always, I'm so grateful that you're listening, subscribing, and commenting. I really appreciate the support. And in this one, I want to speak to you a little bit about INFJs and how stubborn we can be. In fact, someone, and I don't remember now who, mentioned this last week in a comment, and I was like, all right, that's actually very true. But it's not a typical kind of stubbornness where we're like, well, that's it. It's our will or the highway or something like that. We don't listen to anyone or things like that. We do listen to other people and we do kind of take into account other people's opinion. But we have this thing in our minds and our bodies that we need to experience something by ourselves in order to really inculcate its teachings or its lessons. It's okay for us to read about it, in a book and, be like, all right, yeah, this person did that and it did not work out well. So perhaps it won't work out well for me as well. But we know as, people living in this world that everyone's different. Everyone has a different way of looking at things. Everyone has a different way of working with things. Everyone has a different way of dealing with the different scenarios in their lives. So maybe someone did something and it didn't work out for them, but maybe you will do it. And because you're a completely different person with a completely different personality and a completely different life experience roster, then you will be able to perhaps do it. Maybe they didn't, but you can. Or maybe you can, but they can't, or the other way around. And so it's very important for an INFJ to actually experience something in order to really garner its lessons. Now, maybe this is true for everyone on this planet, or maybe not. But for me particularly, I do notice that even though my parents always tell me, I've already had these lessons, I've already gone through this stuff, learned from me. I'm always a little bit suspicious of that because I'm like, well, yeah, you've gone through it, but you're a completely different person living in a completely different generation with different technologies, with different life experiences. Who knows what your experience is gonna, translate to in my life? It might be completely different. Yeah, maybe it'll be the same experience and maybe it'll be the same lesson, but most probably not. Yeah, like that's what I'm noticing more and more is that, for example, let me give you a quick example about the digital nomad thing that I do. So you know that I probably, if you watch my videos, you know that I try to move around and live in different countries, and I try to use my experiences in different countries to make myself more well-rounded, obviously learn more about different cultures, about different foods, and meeting different people. So the last few years I'd been staying in a place called Chiang Mai, which is in the north of Thailand. But I'd moved around. I'd lived a little bit in Mexico. I'd lived a little bit in other parts as well, and obviously in Canada. And so I know that a lot of people will look at my lifestyle and be like, wow, this is great. It's going to be amazing. Your lifestyle is great and you love it and you're so fulfilled by it. So it's going to be good for me as well. And a lot of times I'm like, yeah, of course, it's a great lifestyle. I love it. And everyone should do it. But I noticed that a lot of people in the past that I've met, they looked at my lifestyle and they came to try it out. Some of them loved it as well, and they actually did better than me. They actually made it even more of their own lifestyle, and they really perfected it. And some of them actually saw the way I was doing things and emulated it and tried it and hated it, did not like it at all, and had to leave after a couple of months or a month. And so, of course, yes, look at other people and, that's why we read books. That's why we watch movies. That's why we ask questions. That's why we ask for advice. It's because we want to use other people's experiences, of course. But as an INFJ, our paramount advice giver is going to be our intuition and our life experiences. Yeah, sure, we're going to listen to other people. Sure, we're going to read a lot of books. Sure, we're going to watch a lot of videos on YouTube. But mostly, if we're going to be learning about a particular lesson, extremely important lesson particularly, then we're going to be looking at it through the view of our intuition. How does our intuition feel about it? And if our intuition is really not that developed, then we'll be using our life experiences. And so we really have to experience the thing to go deep within it, to dive into it, and to learn from that view rather than from the outside and standing apart and saying, okay, so how does it look? How did it feel for you? Okay, if that's how it felt for you, probably it'll feel that way for me. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows, right? And so all of this results in a streak of stubbornness because, and I know I am like that too, my parents always complain about it, because they always want me to take the benefit of their experiences and say, okay, I've already experienced it. You don't have to, don't repeat my mistakes, don't repeat my experiences. I've already told you how it's going to be. And in a lot of cases, I'll be like, no, I'm sorry, but no, that's not going to happen. I know that you've done all these experiences and you have some lessons from it, but I also know that my experiences and my lessons are going to be completely different. And so I need to experience it. I need to go out and feel it. I need to make my own mistakes. And of course, that's something that really irks them, because they're like, why do you have to make more mistakes? We've already done it. But that's how we truly learn as an INFJ, is through making those mistakes, through having those experiences, through going in and getting down and dirty and really feeling the item, or like touching it, or using our senses, or traveling to a certain place. I'm always wary of people who tell me, oh, don't go to that place, it's terrible, this is how it is. And in my head, I'm thinking, okay, maybe you didn't like it. What is the guarantee that means that I won't like it as well? Or if you loved it, doesn't mean that I'm going to love it as well, right? And so I'm always, whenever people are like, yeah, you don't need to go there, I've been there and it's terrible, I'm always like, oh my God, now I need to go, because I really need to experience it for myself, especially if this person's saying it's terrible. I want to know, is it going to be terrible for me as well? Or am I going to love it? Or am I going to hate it? So really, I want to go and experience it myself. And if people will give me advice, and they do obviously all the time, it's fine, of course, I will listen to it. But in my own head, I'm thinking, yeah, I'm sure that worked out that way for you. Awesome, great, good for you. But I'm going to try it and see how it works out for me. The same thing with the liver flushes. I've done a bunch of videos on those, and if you haven't watched them, do watch them. I think a liver flush is the most important thing you can do in your life. Again, I'm not a doctor, but that's what I think from the books I've read. And, of course, whenever I do these videos, or whenever I talk about it in my sphere, people always have their opinion to give to me. They're like, oh, no, you shouldn't do it that way. I tried it once and this and that, or I've never tried it, but I've heard this person tried it. And so, they'll give me all this advice, and I'm thinking to myself, I've done 5 of these already. I know what it's like. I have a very clear opinion on it already. I love them. And no matter what you say at this point in time, I've already formed my opinion. And so that is where, as I said, our streak of stubbornness comes in. Because if once we've experienced something, and once we know how we feel about it, unless an apocalypse comes down and says, oh my God, no, don't do liver flushes ever again, I'm going to love and do liver flushes for the rest of my life. I have formed my opinion on it. I know how I feel about it. I know how my body feels about it, which is awesome. And I'm going to keep on keeping on to this particular view of liver flushes until something drastically changes, right? Drastically. And so this is the kind of thing that applies to every single aspect of an INFJ's life. That's why it's very hard for an individual on the outside to change our mind, especially if you're a healthy INFJ or a developed INFJ, because you already know. And the other person's looking at you and trying to convince you and giving you all these ideas and giving you all these suggestions, and you're like, but I know what it's all about. Like, why are you trying to convince me? Or I don't know, but your opinion is not going to change my mind. I'm going to have to go try it out on my own. So you're wasting your time or your breath. Now, of course, we don't say it out loud, but when we end up doing things that other people are saying, well, I told you not to do that. I'm like, well, of course I had to try it out on my own. And sometimes it doesn't work out. And they're like, but I told you it wouldn't work out. And I was like, yeah, you told me it wouldn't work out, but I had to try it to see if it wouldn't work out for me particularly. And they're like, but I told you it wouldn't. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And these are the conversations I have with people all the time, because they're like, but I told you. And I'm like, yeah, of course you told me. What does that mean? It means nothing. I need to have my own experiences in order to understand what that thing is going to be all about. Right? And so even if I have an opinion on something, and even if everyone on the planet says, no, don't do it, it's going to be terrible, you're going to hate it, like the whole thing about quitting my job and moving to Chiang Mai, everyone was like, what are you doing? Have you lost your mind? Don't do it. You're going to regret it. Don't quit your job. You have a great job. It pays well. You have such prestige, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. Whatever you say, whatever anyone said, I knew exactly what was in my heart, in my mind. I had to go do it. I had to try it. If it didn't work out, all right, cool. At least I tried. But I had to try, because that was how my mind was in that state of mind. Okay? So I hope this makes sense to you. I really wanted to share this with you because I know that a lot of you are probably dealing with that as well. And so if you have questions about this, obviously message me or comment below and I shall do a follow-up video. Again, I'm so grateful that you're on my channel. I appreciate your support, and I shall see you the next time around. Bye for now.